What's going on, guys? It's Tommy, and I'm coming at you with an action figure review. Today I'm going to be reviewing Hasbro The Vintage Collection Incinerator Trooper and Grogu set. This came out quite a bit ago. I actually picked this up for $10 at my local Ollie's, and for a figure that I believe when it came out was 25 bucks, $10 is an absolute steal. So I pick up TVC here and there. I'm really mainly a Black Series collector when it comes to the action figures. However, this is a cool one. I really like this trooper design, and I love the blast effects here. It looks really, really good. Looking at the packaging, this is what Hasbro was doing at the time for their deluxe TVC releases. They did this plastic freestyle packaging. At the top here, you have your Star Wars The Mandalorian logos. You have the name of the set here. You have a little picture of Grogu, as well as a little glam shot of the set, which I think looks really, really good. On this side here, you have another glam shot of the character with some of the blast effects, as well as the logos. And then on this side, you would have another image here, but I have my Ollie sticker there, as well as the logos again. On the bottom of the box, you have your legalese, and then on the back, you have just another glam shot, same one we saw on the front, and then a little layout of the figures and the accessories. All your legalese again. Don't feed this action figure to your children. And aside from that, that is it for the packaging. Let's get this set opened and check it out. All right, guys, right out the box, I'm just going to be honest and say it. I need to stop buying vintage collection figures that I open. I bought the Jango Fett a couple months ago, the deluxe one, and I now bought this. And every time I open a vintage collection figure, I'm immediately blown away by the level of detail. As a kid, I grew up with the 3 3/4 Star Wars action figures, whether it was, the Phantom Menace figures, all the way over to, I think I got out of it, around the time of the Clone Wars figures, right around 2013 is where I kind of dropped out of the action figure Star Wars stuff as a kid. But man, this one just brings me back to the best of the figures that I had when I was a kid. Obviously, before we check out our figures, let's look at the accessories here. They give you a plethora of different flame effects, which I think these are awesome, and you could even use these in your Black Series display. So they have these two here. They are done in a translucent orange. Looks like there's a little bit of red towards the top there. These are very well done, and on camera they look even better than they do to the naked eye, in my opinion. These just kind of sit anywhere. They're just sculpted to be like that. This one here is sculpted to go off of the front of the Incinerator Trooper's flamethrower, which is actually attached to the figure here. So we'll show that one off connected there. And then this one's really cool. This is kind of the flame. This one's super malleable too, by the way, which is great. This one's kind of shaped in almost like a bowl kind of look. And this is so that you can emulate the scene where the Incinerator Trooper is firing off the flames and Grogu is using the Force to kind of fan the flames around Din and Cara Dune and everyone else. So, I think this is a really good accessory. And again, you could stick all these flame accessories with any of your vintage collection or Black Series displays, and I think they would look really good. And of course, let's check out our little Grogu here. So it looks like he actually does have some articulation down here at the arms, which is awesome. He's got some little ball joints down there, and that's great because, I like the little sad expression he's got. He's like really trying to stop those flames. They did have him out of the box so the arms are forward, but I think, again, it's great that they went as far as to sculpt some articulation into the shoulders there. He's got his little feetsies painted at the bottom, but again, really, really nice look, and I like that it's a unique expression for Grogu as well, just not a basic Grogu figure. And now, of course, let's take a quick look at our Incinerator Trooper. So this guy looks awesome. Again, as I noted before, the fuel pack all the way to the actual flamethrower is all one continuously sculpted piece. Obviously, the little cables here are very flexible, but do be careful with them because they are so thin. He's got some great paint applications here. I mean, this is going to be a hot take here. I think I'm saying that because it's killing me to say this stuff as a Black Series collector. I think the helmet sculpt for the Stormtroopers in TVC look better than Black Series. I think Black Series should aim to look more like this. It's got some great painted detail all throughout the helmet here. I love the hits of red. I even love that on some of the red striping here, there's a little bit of chipping there, a little bit of weathering, I guess you could call it. And yeah, again, just some great detail all throughout the figure. All the gray buttons on the front of the midsection are painted. All the different armor bits are painted as well. This is just nuts, man. There is a little bit of sloppiness down here, a little QC issue with the red on the right thigh. That's okay though, not a huge issue. No paint applications whatsoever when it comes to the flamethrower or the fuel pack here, and that's fine too. At this scale, I am very forgiving when it comes to how many paint applications they give to these figures because it's so small. Let's cover this guy's articulation real quick. So it looks like at the head here, you don't get too much. He's got a kind of ball joint maybe with a little bit of a hinge there too, so he can look down a little bit here and he can look straight ahead, not really up. The pauldron and the overlay system here is really hindering that articulation. He can get not really any tilt, but he can definitely look side to side. The shoulders here are on a hinge and swivel, so those can get you up to 90 degrees and swivel a full 360. Down at the elbows, you've got some deep cut single jointed elbows here. Those get you a 90-degree bend, and they also feature some swivel. Looks like he's got a vertical hinge here at the right wrist with the trigger finger hand, and then on the left wrist, he's got a really nice range on the horizontal hinge. He's got a ball joint to the midsection with some ridiculous range here, and then he's even got ball joints at the hips, I think, right? Yeah? Okay, yeah, it looks like this weird like hinge system with a swivel a little bit. Looks like the thighs can technically swivel separately from the rest of the leg, but I'm not really seeing the best way to go about that. Yeah, it looks like you just kind of have to work with the figure a lot. There is a thigh swivel in there, as well as these little hinge, ball and hinge system at the hips, which give you some really nice range. As you can see, I was kind of moving it around there. The more you move it, the more range you get out of it. And then of course you have these single jointed knees down here, which do get you to about that same 90-degree mark there. Those do also feature a swivel. And then down here at the ankles, you do have that forward-facing pin for rocker, which is something very new for TVC figures, to my understanding. It's got a hinge with some really nice forward and some really nice back as well. I would say it's kind of scary as a Black Series collector to see how close the TVC articulation is getting to us Black Series here. I'd say really the only thing we have on them now is the butterfly joints, and we'll see how long that lasts. You know, Hasbro might go crazy and end up start putting some butterfly joints on their vintage collection figures. Looking at the flamethrower here, it looks like this is going to fit really nicely into the right hand. I'm choosing to have the cable piece, you know, underneath the arm. Similarly to my complaints about the Black Series version of this figure, it doesn't look like there's a way to really pose the offhand, you know, completely underneath the flamethrower. I understand this for reuse purposes. It still kind of sucks though, because it really just kind of limits you on how you can actually pose the figure around, but you can still achieve a nice little pose here with him holding the flamethrower in two hands. And with the flame effect, there is a little peg hole in the end of the flame effect. It's just going to plug right into the barrel of the flamethrower here. You'll feel it kind of pop into place when it's in there correctly. And this, I'm assuming, will make this figure very front heavy, so we'll probably have to, you know, posture him up a little bit when he's holding it. We'll find out in a second here. Yeah, I'd highly recommend just kind of posing him with his legs a little bit wider here, a little bit back heavy. I will say the fuel pack does help to kind of offset the weight a little bit, but it does look really cool in the hand here. Doesn't seem to want to topple forward at all, as long as we lean him back just a little bit here. Looks great. We'll get him all posed up here with Grogu, and we'll do the pose that's on the front of the box here. And just like that, there you go. There's your poses for the front of the box there. You can achieve those same poses. I think these figures look really cool. And again, I'm really happy with my purchase of this set, especially at the $10 value. You can even get some nice one-legged posing with this guy, like he's about to, you know, run into battle and go flame on some people here. Looks really nice. But overall, guys, there's my quick little review of this set. I definitely would recommend getting this. I think if you find it at Ollie's for 10 bucks, it's amazing. And I'm really, again, very impressed by the quality of these 3 3/4 figures. They're just fantastic. And it's a fun little one-off thing for me to buy as well. With that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did and you're not yet subscribed, subscribe to Blitz Transmissions. I've got awesome Star Wars content coming out all the time. Make sure to check out my social media, all of which is linked in the description below. That's going to be all for this review, guys. I'll catch you for the next one, and may the Force be with you.